Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's Saturday, January 28th, 2017. This morning, a news story following yesterday's news. Yesterday, Donald Trump signed an executive action to halt immigration from 7 Middle Eastern nations. He says it's to stop Islamic terrorist threats. So today, the day after, the news story is 2 Iraqi men were in JFK Airport on New York. Airports involved with September 11th, and this is where this whole narrative's following. Donald Trump, the first Republican president since Bush, who was in office when September 11th happened, 11 years to the day that his father was president, September 11th, 1990. His father gave a speech about delivering the New World Order, a world freer of terrorism. The first thing he said after the New World Order, 11 years to the day, September 11th, 2001, his son's the president. False flag terrorist attack, blamed on boogeymen, ongoing agenda ever since duping the people. Now here's Donald Trump. We got to ban these Muslim countries because they're sending over all the terrorists. In reality, there's no terrorism happening anywhere besides on the television. Got to check out that movie, Wag the Dog. Anyhow, Trump, we don't want them here. All day after the signing of the action, CNN kept this up on their front page yesterday, and they're using it again this morning. This morning, it's being used for the follow-up story of 2 Iraqi men at JFK Airport who were caught up in the middle of the immigration ban. And now they're suing Donald Trump over the hassle they had to go through yesterday. That's the story we're getting today. They're saying it happened at JFK in New York, of all airports. So, let's talk about this emphasized headline. We don't want them here. They emphasized this all day yesterday. They're emphasizing it all this morning. A message of division, a message that will plant seeds of hate. Again, as I've been explaining, the whole purpose of my work is to get people to wake up to how they're being lied to and who's lying to them, so we can undo the programming. We can undo the damage from the lies. That's the whole reason I do this work, to help people see that the mainstream media, their government, they are information weapons. They are about mind control, deception, controlling the masses, steering them astray, creating needless wars that don't need to happen. And they do it all by keeping the people divided and fighting over nonsense. Nothing. Wagging the dog, as it's called in that movie that explains the reality of stories like this. So we don't want them here. Let's talk about why that's emphasized. If you have never seen one of my videos, I talk about gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. Since the beginning, I have taught 2 forms that are most important, and down in the description, there's a 15-minute video. You can watch the first 5 minutes of that video and you will know how these systems work. Very simple, very intuitive, based on the alphabetic order, interrelated. Notice we don't want them here equals 86 and 221. No matter what word, phrase you put in, the 2 systems in numerology will always break down to the same single digit. What I mean by that is 86 in numerology is 8 plus 6 is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. So in numerology, 86 becomes 5. In numerology, you make all numbers a single digit except for 11 or 22. Some numerologists will tell you you don't have to break down 33. Anyhow, ordinal. This is using the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z. The 26th letter is 26. We don't want them here equals 221 in that method. And 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 5. Just like how over here it was 8 plus 6 is 14, 1 plus 4 is 5. They'll always break down to the same single digit. And the way reduction works is you just make each letter a single digit using numerology and then add the word. So anyway, 86, relevant number, symbolic number. These are symbolic news stories meant to plant seeds in people's minds. Narratives constantly ongoing, being built upon. This is part of the ongoing 9/11, post 9/11 agenda. They say there's to be a third world war, written about by Albert Pike, the Freemason, and it's to be between Christianity and Islam. Bush used to always boast about being a Christian and how we need to bomb those cave dwellers over there, make derogatory remarks about Muslims as the president. Now we get Donald Trump, the latest Republican, and he's just, up in the ante with the rhetoric, up in the moves. Comes in right away. We're just going to ban the Muslim countries. We're just going to build the wall. How long until he mocks handicapped people again as the president? I'm sure it'll happen. We don't want them here. 86. Look at these words that sum to 86. Pyramid, triangle, symbol. I call it the symbol number. Republic, citizen. He's saying who can come here for citizenship and who can't. Extreme vetting. He's using this term. We don't want them here. 221. This is a number I've been talking about many times in recent weeks. There were headlines that Obama gave Palestine $221 million as he was departing office. 221 is the number of the Bavarian Illuminati, which is the Masonic alliance that was established May 1st, 1776, just before the American Revolution. And as I've been documenting with Donald Trump, from his birthday, his 70th birthday to Inauguration Day, January 20th, 2017, was 221 days. Also 7 months and 7 days. He was 70 years old, 7 months and 7 days when he took office on Inauguration Day. D.C. on the 77th meridian. Let's not forget what happened to D.C. on 9/11. Flight 77 hit the 77-foot-tall Pentagon on the 77th meridian, supposedly 77 minutes after taking off. Show you something about September 11th real quick. In real time. Whoops, spelling's crucial. Where did I go wrong? Extra E. September 11th, when spelled correctly, sums to 77. Again, Flight 77 hit the 77-foot-tall Pentagon on the 77th meridian exactly 77 minutes after taking off, according to the 9/11 Commission report. So anyway, 221, Donald Trump became president 221 days after his birthday. He was married to his wife Melania on January 22nd, or 22/1. I've been showing how his wife is very symbolic, how her connections to the election, the office of president. Donald Trump gave his biggest victory speech when he was running to be the Republican nominee. It was April 26, 2016. He won the 5 major conventions that day in 5 different states. He won all 5, and on that day, he guaranteed he'd defeat Hillary Clinton and build the wall. That was his wife's birthday. Victory Day, they called it. I just put out a video on that, what that date had to do with Election Day and more. But anyway, 221. For the past year and a half, I've been documenting the numbers coded on Donald Trump again and again. 221's a number we've seen all year. And right now it's coming fast and furious. Number of the Bavarian Illuminati, which is Freemasonry, which has the concept of divide and conquer, order out of chaos. These are stories of division, planting seeds of hatred, ongoing chaos for future chaos. This is how they keep us controlled. This is how they rule over us. So look at this. Earlier today, they had up this headline for a moment: Iraqis sue Trump over detention. And in gematria, that sums to 138, just like Donald Trump. Another number I've been talking about all year with Donald Trump. Quoted right in the headline about this confrontation with these men at the JFK airport in New York that are suing him because they're getting caught up in the executive order he signed. See, this is all contrived narratives, contrived stories. Again, if you haven't seen that movie, Wag the Dog, you got to check that out. It's about making up news to steer the people. Trump using this term extreme vetting, which has gematria of 88, just like the name Trump alone. Trump, extreme vetting. Yeah, there's more to it, Truth Seeker, but this is just what it is. Each day, news by the numbers, building the narrative. And with these false narratives that they contrive, look, they create real laws that have real consequences on our lives. Before 9/11, there were more freedoms, there were more liberties, there was less surveillance over you, there was more money for things besides police and military. If you pay attention all throughout the nation, schools have had to make adjustments because they've had way less money. The reason there's way less money for schools and so many other things is because it's more and more is going to military police surveillance. Think about it. They're not building a future of being able to advance you. They're building a future where they can monitor you. And why do they want to do that? People got to ask the right questions. You know? It's not a coincidence that this day and age there's all this Netflix and just the way everything's unfolding. There's so much entertainment and distraction everywhere. Most of us have screens right at our fingertips, smartphones. It's just they've built more and more distractions as we don't see ourselves going into this horrible tyranny. There's a reason I've been speaking out nonstop since 2013. You know, people that want to make fun of me, look, you guys, I'm making major life sacrifices to get out real knowledge and information. And this is the information to give people the eyes to see of what we're all being duped and led astray into. You know, that's the whole purpose, so people can awake to the lies. Because so many people are invested in these lies, you know? Oh, yeah. So here, Trump's Supreme Court, they're saying his most likely pick is this man right here. They're saying this is most likely going to be the next Supreme Court Justice, Neil Gorsuch. He's currently 49 years old. Remember, Washington equals 49. He'd be going on to the Supreme Court, the judicial branch. There's the three branches of government: the executive, the president, the legislative, the Congress and Senate, the judicial, the Supreme Court, which has not been really operating effectively since February 13th, 2016, the day Antonin Scalia died. If you missed my work on the death of Antonin Scalia, you got to go back and check that out. I told everybody there was going to be a big death on that date. I didn't know it would be Antonin Scalia, but I just saw the foreshadowing for that date. It's the 44th day of the year. The word kill equals 44. So does the word ranch. Scalia was dead on a ranch. Kill, ranch. 44th day of the year, day known as Lupercalia, which also has gematria 44. That there's oftentimes a very suspicious death on that date in history. Also on February 14th and 15th, Lupercalia goes for 3 days. Last year it was Vanity who died on February 15th. Based on her death, I was able to predict that Prince would probably die soon. I talked about the connection of 67 between between Prince and Vanity and what that had to do with death. Prince ended up dying 67 days from Vanity. So anyway, this number knowledge, this is real knowledge. You get aware of this, you can see what's going on in this world and so much more, you know? But anyway, this guy, Supreme Court Justice, 49 years old. They're saying Washington equals 49. Federal government in Washington, D.C., District of Columbia. Good age to take the bench. He's got that 42 Freemason birth numerology. His name, though, is what really pops out at me. His full name, Neil McGill Gorsuch, or however you pronounce it, it equals 187. And as I've been explaining, George W. Bush, the last Republican president, born on the 187th day of the year. This past year, Donald Trump has his GOP convention on July 18th, 2016, which was 186 days before, or a full span of 187 days before Inauguration Day. So from the July 18th convention date to Inauguration Day, a span of 187 days. Did I just say that clearly? Sometimes you talk too long and it's like, if you never recorded talking to the camera, sometimes like, wait a minute, did I just say that right? But anyway, from the GOP convention start, July 18th, 18/7, a lot like 187, to Inauguration Day, 187 days, right? 187, number that's been showing up again and again next to Donald Trump. Here it is coded in this Supreme Court Justice. Also, in the history of the Republican Party, George Washington in gematria sums to 187. Notice also the 88, like Trump. And I think a second ago I misspelled Washington, but I had the right letters. But if you spell Washington correctly, it's still 49. Also, the 130 is a lot like 13. Remember, 13 colonies, 13 stripes on the flag, 13 years of public school programming. The USA 41, the 13th prime number. New feature on Gematrinator gives you the prime numbers right here. You click on a number, gives you all this information. You can see if it's prime. Yes, it's the 13th. So anyway, this Supreme Court justice to be, very possibly. But look at your government. It's just such a show. The Supreme Court has not been able to operate effectively over politics because the Republicans said, well, this isn't fair. Obama shouldn't get to nominate another Supreme Court justice unexpectedly because Scalia dropped dead. We should wait until the next president. And to me, I just thought, what kind of world does that make sense in? The government is supposed to just work. I mean, if you lose, the Supreme Court is based on having an uneven number of members, 9. So they went to 8 with the death of Antonin Scalia. So to me, it just seems, you already have a Republican Congress. They have to go through these hearings. Why not just work it out between the two parties? Your job is to make the government work. So why weren't the two parties cooperating to find the right pick, a balance based on the circumstance? Why if it's almost been a year since Scalia died. So they wait a whole year for this whole political show. And then look at how it really works. Ends up being this guy with these numbers coded on him. The point I'm trying to make to you guys is it's all a script. It's all a script. It's all planned. It's an ongoing show. It's theatrics. It's meant to get people worked up. It's meant to make people sad, break them down, make them hate others. Imagine all the people who don't know this, who are looking at this headline today. Getting hurt. That's what I put out the videos for. For all the people who are getting hurt, when you realize you're being lied to, you won't feel hurt anymore. Once you get over it, you'll just think, okay, I'm ready to do something to stop this. That's why I spread the word. So I think we covered it all. The coding of the numbers, what it's all about. It's Freemasonry, it's Zionism doing it. It's the Freemasons in the Catholic Church known as the Jesuits. Donald Trump, the Jesuit. We covered it all, Truth Seeker. Until next time.